The cup shattered before I even realized I dropped it. Coffee streaked across the floor, pooling beneath my bare feet, hot enough to sting. But the real burn came from her voice echoing in my head. Cold, sharp, and final. None of my lips belong to you. The words didn't just cut. They carved. Deep and deliberate. She was standing by the kitchen counter when she said it, sunlight catching her hair in soft gold ribbons. Her hands were steady, her tone almost calm, as if she were reciting a fact instead of detonating a grenade between us. I stared at her, trying to make sense of what I just heard. What? My voice cracked. I tried to laugh, but it came out like a gasp. What do you mean? She didn't flinch. Didn't even look guilty. Exactly what I said, Adam. You don't own me. Not my time, not my body, not my lips. A chill moved through me, quiet but brutal. It wasn't just the words, it was the look that came after. Detached. Tired. Like she'd rehearsed this moment and was relieved it was finally happening. For months I'd been noticing things. Subtle changes. Late nights disguised as overtime. Her phone face down during dinner. Perfume that lingered even when she claimed she hadn't gone anywhere. I told myself I was imagining it. That paranoia was worse than pain. But that morning when she came downstairs wearing a new dress I'd never seen, smelling of someone else's cologne, my denial finally cracked. I asked the question I'd been terrified to voice. Are you seeing someone else, Claire? She exhaled softly, like I'd just confirmed something she'd been expecting. You always jump to the worst conclusions. That wasn't an answer. I'm not jumping, I said. I'm drowning. Her silence said everything. I'd met Claire 5 years ago at a debt consolidation seminar. She was there taking notes for her job. I was there trying to keep my late father's business from collapsing under unpaid loans. She smiled at me that day, one of those rare smiles that made the noise of the world disappear for a second. I remember thinking she looked like the future I'd been trying to reach for years. We built our life out of struggle. Cheap dinners, shared dreams, nights spent planning how to get out of the hole together. When I finally cleared my debts, I told her I'd spend the rest of my life paying her back in love. Now, standing in the same kitchen we'd once remodeled with laughter and exhaustion, I couldn't tell who I was looking at. She grabbed her purse, slung it over her shoulder and said quietly, "You're suffocating me, Adam. Every question feels like a trap. I can't breathe in this house anymore." Something inside me snapped. Then who's giving you air out there? She froze. For the first time, guilt flickered across her face, but it was gone as quickly as it came. That night I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark, surrounded by quiet so thick it hurt. I scrolled through her social media, old messages, memories I wasn't ready to admit were poisoned. Every smile looked different now, like the truth had been hiding in plain sight. By morning I knew what I had to do. I checked the joint account. Half the money was gone. The emergency fund we'd built together emptied. My heart pounded as I scrolled through the transaction list. The withdrawals lined up with her late nights. Hotel names. Restaurants we could never afford. She wasn't just cheating on me. She was spending our recovery on him. When she walked in that evening, I was waiting in the living room, the account statement open on the table. Her expression hardened the second she saw it. "You went through my bank records?" "I went through our records," I said quietly, "because I still thought we were us." "Adam," she said, rubbing her temples, "you don't understand. He. I repeated. "You just said he." The room fell silent. The clock on the wall ticked loud enough to drown the sound of my pulse. "Is it James?" I asked. "Your boss." She didn't answer. She didn't need to. The weeks that followed were a blur of paperwork, arguments, and silence. She didn't move out immediately. She lingered, packing slowly, deliberately, as if each folded shirt was a piece of control she refused to surrender. One night I came home to find her sitting on the couch, tears streaking her face. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. "He made me feel alive again." I wanted to scream, but my body felt frozen. "And I didn't?" I said. Her sob turned into a bitter laugh. "You made me feel safe, Adam. And sometimes safety feels like a cage." That line would haunt me for months. The final straw came 2 days later. A letter arrived from the bank, her credit card debt, co-signed by me, now overdue. Thousands of dollars. Vacations, gifts, hotel stays. When I confronted her, she looked unbothered. "You're the one who wanted to merge finances," she said flatly. That's when I said it. "Then handle your debts alone." Her eyes widened like she hadn't expected me to fight back. I turned away before she could speak, walked upstairs and locked the door. I could hear her crying downstairs, then silence, then the sound of the front door closing. Months later, I saw her again by accident in a small cafe downtown. She was sitting across from a man in a tailored suit, laughing softly. Her hand rested on his. She looked happy, or at least like someone who'd convinced herself she was. She noticed me through the glass and froze. For a second, something flickered in her eyes, shame maybe, or the memory of a life she'd buried. I didn't wave. I just left. That night, I drove home and opened the old photo album we used to flip through on lazy Sundays. Our first apartment. Our dog. The night I proposed under the flicker of broken streetlights. I thought about how love isn't always destroyed by betrayal. It sometimes rots from neglect, from words left unsaid, from dreams deferred too long. But what hurt most wasn't that she'd stopped loving me. It was realizing she'd loved someone else while still pretending to be mine. I closed the album and set it aside. For the first time in months, I didn't cry. Because maybe I thought some debts are meant to be written off. And maybe forgiveness, real forgiveness, isn't about freeing them. It's about freeing yourself.